Hi, I'm Captain Larry Bell with Texas Fishing Tips, and this is your weekly fishing report.
Down the Ayers shoreline and here in the San Antonio Bay, if you're coming down here in these back lakes right here, with all the extra water that we have that have been coming in here, especially from beta, there will probably still be some residual toward the weekend as you get back in this area here. Just be careful of your tides, pay attention to them, see where they're at. But right now you can get in these areas here. All this area back in here is thigh to waist deep water. That'll probably drop out a little bit, but your top water action back in here for specks and reds has been really good. It's been an amazing amount of bait that's been pushing around in here. You have to be careful and watch for it. This doesn't show itself right off the bat. Just look for little signs here and there, the ripple, the flips of the bait. But there's good redfish that are hanging in this area. If your top water's not getting the reaction that you want, go to a double D. It's just below the surface. You can pull that bait down a little bit, work that bait, and you can get to those fish that are hanging in that thigh to waist deep water. Up here in Mustang Lake, all this area back in here, you've got a nice amount of scattered shell, mud, sand, all back in this area here, down this area here. Again, with the amount of water that's in here, this little back lake here that has become really alive. These fish have pushed back in this area looking for new areas to find bait, looking new areas to explore. You can find these fish against these back shorelines in Mustang. Again, throw your topwaters back in here. Doesn't matter what flavor it is, as long as it's got a white belly on it, you'll do fine with it. If there's got rougher water, go to a bigger profile topwater. If you got some pretty calm conditions, you can go with a Spook Junior or Skitterwalk. Have worked well in here. Another plastic that's worked really well in here have been the Mirror Lures, Little Johns, and Provokers. They have worked really well back in this area here for trout and redfish. Sundown Bay, all against the back shoreline. Work these areas here. There's a great amount of bait that's working this area here. Be patient, man. There's a ton of little bitty trout that are hanging in this area and in the whole estuary for the main fact. You find a bunch of 10, 12, 14 inchers. You'll have to work through a lot of these trout to find some better trout. You'll find some 16s and 17s, some nice box fish that are in here, an occasional 20 if you're fortunate. But just be prepared to deal with a bunch of little fish. Enjoy the catching from that standpoint, but just kind of be patient with them. You'll find the better fish in here, and there'll be some scattered redfish along this area here. Your Little Johns, Provokers have been working here by Mirror Lure, have been working really, really well. Double Ds have worked good here. Top water's real early, and then it kind of fades a little bit in this particular spot. Your down south lures, the darker versions of those, have worked real well, and there's plenty of fish that are working up and down this ICW in Sundown. Down here in Spalding, get in these back lakes. Again, a lot of extra waters in here right now. Work these back lakes, work these mouths in here into Spalding, work the outside of Spalding. There's good bait that's hanging in there. Where your bait's hanging is where you're going to find your fish. So that's always your number one key thing to do, is look for your bait fish first. Look back in these back lakes. Throw your topwaters back there. A little shallower than it would be out front. The topwater action in these back lakes has been really good with redfish and trout back there. You just have to work through it, work your way across these back lakes. Be patient with it. Have fun with it, especially when you start getting those good blow-ups. Just keep after them until the redfish, that trout comes up and just eats it. Get out here on the front of Spalding, work these edges, these mouths where it comes in these drains and stuff. Work out on the edge of that with your Provokers and your Mirror Lure. Little Johns have worked really well out this way. Again, your down south lures have worked real well out in this area. So you got a lot of choices that you can choose from to find your trout and redfish. Up in North Pass here in Copano, head back into Mission Bay again with the extra water that is in this area. All this area back in here, you've got a lot of fishable area. You've got shale to the right. You've got deeper water along those cliff edges back in there. It's almost impossible to wade, so you really just have to stay on your trolling motor and fish from your boat, which is not my favorite thing to do, but sometimes you do what you got to do to find your fish. But there's plenty of fish that are hanging back in this, the very back shoreline, along those back lakes that are back there, the mouths in Mission Lake back there, fishing it. There's some good redfish that are in there. That bait is pushed back into that area there. So again, the fish are going to follow the bait. Work to the west and southwest areas up where the mangroves, the little lakes that are back in that area. You'll find some fish that are in that area. You just kind of have to work your way around into Mission Bay. There's plenty of fish that are in there. You just got to be patient, work through it. Throw your baits, throw your topwaters, throw your down souths, throw your Provokers from Mirror Lure. Little Johns, look at your water clarity, kind of match your, dark water, dark bait, and be patient with it, and you'll find some good fish that are hanging back in here.
Thanks for watching. I'm Captain Larry Bell.